I've been warning you people that the internet is killing us.
These days, our go-to doctor is a search engine. According to Science Daily, researchers found that only 3 of the top 10 results from symptom-based Google searches were useful for self-diagnosis. A researcher told Science Daily, if you had searched for the symptoms of something like a bad head cold, you could end up thinking you had something far more serious, like an issue with the brain. This is kind of a problem, considering Google reported about 20 of its 100 billion searches every month was for health-related information.
I love this story because I think we all do this. Have you guys done this? Yes
All
or
the
no?
time.
You have anything, you have a headache, you immediately think you have cancer or some other...
Yeah. It's not good to, I mean, it's good to, just to inform yourself in general, but if you're actually unwell, you should go see a physician.
So is this one of the catch-22s? There's been a lot of catch-22s in this show today, but like of the internet and of technology and all this stuff, that we have access to all this information, but we don't really know what to do with it, do we?
Absolutely not. And everyone can be a publisher, and everyone is a publisher, and there's so many differing opinions. So when I have a headache, I'll Google it and freak out the first time because I'll think, oh great, I have a brain tumor. And so what I'll do then is look for another differing opinion that tells me I don't have a brain tumor.
Right.
And that's the biggest problem, because I can convince myself that I'm not sick when maybe I am.
Thus causing a brain tumor.
Exactly.
You spend too much time working on all this stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that the internet is not yet at the point where you can make an accurate diagnosis over the, I mean, there's no question about that. But I do think the internet is amazing for the fact that information is now free and we can learn more about our health and our own biology than ever before in any previous time. And so to me, I think that's amazing. And I regularly am Googling like weird health things, which I really enjoy. So
Right. So what's the last weirdest health thing that you've Googled?
God.
That you convinced yourself you had, I assume.
That I convinced myself I had. I'm obsessed with brain health and nutrition stuff. So I think that like the fact that a lot of these studies are out there is incredible. I mean, before the internet, like you would either have to go to a library, but chances are libraries don't have the most up-to-date medical journals. So to me, I think it's incredible, the world that we now live in.
Yeah. How do you guys know who to trust? I mean, I always say when it comes to news, like I don't know who to trust anymore. I feel like everyone has some partisan agenda. Everybody's owned by somebody. It's extremely hard to pick a news organization you trust. So when we're talking about health, it's that much more dangerous. Like, yeah, WebMD. I mean, that's pretty much, I guess, where everyone goes. I don't know who owns WebMD or what their connections are with pharmaceutical industries. Or all that. How do you decide like what site you go to and how do you trust them?
I think Google decides because it's whatever pops up first, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how scary that is. WebMD seems to be the first one that pops up, but then there's like Livestrong. So you have Lance Armstrong's foundation.
And we know he's totally on the up and up, right? He's never done anything lied or...
He's totally cool.
Yeah.
So, I tend to think that what I do is I look for peer-reviewed journals. I start with the abstracts. And then if you're able to find like the full study, most people don't know this, but you can actually go to the references, the citation section of those studies. Yeah. And they just lead to a Pandora's box of just like insight and information that you can track infinitely down the rabbit hole. And to me, it's really, really awesome. But
I feel like you did much better in school than I did. I did pretty good. I did do pretty good, but like your shit was much more research than mine.
I was really interested in science and computer science in high school, but I didn't end up going the academic route. I ended up studying psychology and film. The human machine to me has always been an endless source of wonder and fascination.
That's another good quote. You're on it with the quotes today. So you mentioned this before about the brain tumor thing, but have you ever convinced yourself that you really had something?
Well, I got back from Liberia last year. I did 4 trips to Liberia working for RYOT.
Yeah.
And when I came back, I was freaking out that I may have Ebola. So I was constantly searching symptoms of Ebola.
Yeah.
The same page over and over again, trying to reassure myself that I don't.
Yeah.
And so, at least at that time, it worked for me, calm me down.
So it did calm you down.
It did calm me down.
And did you have any of the symptoms that? Because the symptoms were sort of flu-like, right? There wasn't something that, it wasn't like, people thought it was going to be like blood shooting out of your eyes.
Yeah. Well, the problem is when you've been somewhere where they have Ebola, you get the slightest headache and you freak out.
Yeah.
And I'm a hypochondriac anyway, but I got a headache and I'm like, oh my gosh, symptoms of Ebola, and it's like first one, headache. And
wait. Did you just say you were a hypochondriac? You were a hypochondriac.
Oh, yeah.
And you went to Liberia to
Absolutely.
do the Ebola documentary. Well, what is that? There's got to be some sort of psychological condition.
Probably.
I'll
Google it.
All right, what do you guys think? Are you diagnosing yourselves with major psychological or physiological disease right now? Let us know in the comments right down below.